Welcome everybody to another Beastman review. Today we're going to be taking a look at 1986 Overkill and Slugfest. They were the Decepticon cassette tapes that came out towards the very end, where you had Beast Box, you had some of the other lesser known cassettes from the Decepticons, and also the Autobots. I found these separate times. Over there, right there, I have the originals in box still, because when I was trying to buy these, I saw someone said, hey, I got reissues on sale, and so I'm like, sure, I didn't know they were doing reissues of those ones, but okay, $10. I think the person was confused on what they were doing, because those are the vintage in box and that it looks brand new. I've had it checked. I've had people look at it. It's the real deal. The real deal. So I'm like, well, I don't want to open those. So I found another Overkill, because mine disappeared years ago. And I found Slugfest. He's in a whole lot better condition than Slugfest is. I think this was probably on the shelf for display for I don't know how long. This looks like it's had a lot of play. But we're going to start off with Overkill. Actually, you know what? Size comparison for both of them. Let's do that first. That's always fun. Here he is with the reissue of Stay Puft. G1 Grimlock. His fellow dinosaur robots. And here he is with the Superion Micromaster Combiner. Pretender Bumblebee. You can kind of see the scale of them. They're not very large by any means. And here they are with Laserbeak and Ravage. So they look really good together. I'm not gonna lie, they look really good. Happy with it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna transform Overkill first. These chrome bits, the chrome paint on these plastic bits are so nice looking still. There we go. Focus. Really nice. Like I said, I think these are probably on someone's shelf or a display for many years. Because these are also the original ones. If it'll zoom, focus, Takara 86. And the paint showing all the information about the cassette tape is still really good. And also the gold on his eyes are still in really good shape. There's nothing wrong with the plastic. His rub sign works just fine still. I see a Decepticon. Ooh, who would have guessed? His mouth can open. Hello there. And he can look up, and he can also kind of do the screaming face, and that's about a range of motion for his head. And his tail can move up and down, and his little stubby arms can go up and down. He's got his little feet, those can go up and down, and it's really interesting. I think this is the same thing I think with Steeljaw. It's like little thighs that pop out, so he can actually kind of look normal instead of, there we go, instead of it being just full on straight down like most of the cassettes are. So I like that. So we're gonna go ahead and transform him. So his head just pops back, tail goes in, and his legs, this one is going to compress him, bring his feet back, bring his arm in, and ta-da! You got a dinosaur cassette tape. And if you really want, you can slap these on there. Why? I don't know. I mean, it's a thing you can do. You can kind of jet across. Use your imagination. You could make like your own alt mode. I don't know what you'd call that. Looks like a duck. So, it's a thing you can do with your toy. To quote MGO, it's a thing it can do. So, there he is in his cassette mode. Now, good old Slugfest. This is what I was saying. He's had some fair play. I mean, the orange is kind of fading. You can really see it bad on his guns. You can see the green plastics kind of coming through that chrome paint. I mean, is it the prettiest? That's pretty good. You can actually kind of aim his cannons up. You can kind of maneuver them however you please. But this one's kind of a little snug. I don't know why, but nothing risking, beating up a 30-year-old figure. So, if you look at just the condition of his gun, it's seen action. Again, this looks like it's been on someone's shelf. That's just in my opinion. It looks like it's been on someone's shelf for years. But nonetheless, it's still magnificent. His head, little itty bitty red eye with a horn. Forgot to mention Overkill also has a horn on his head too. Make a joke, maybe not. These do pop down, and luckily this one time has not completely destroyed it because of one thing. There's a spring in there. I have seen people talk about it. It's kind of hard to replace. It's very difficult. You kind of risk damaging the figure itself trying to replace it because the spring can go out. Because it's part of the transformation. I'll get to that. So, articulation. He has this much in his tail. And that's all for transformation. But then again, I mean, realistically, both of these guys, everything, all their articulation is for transformation. The head, you can look up that high. You can look down. You can look around if you really wanted to. His legs can go back and forth. And his rope's signed to work. Sometimes it works. Kinda. I think his is starting to kind of have issues. There you go. Okay. And again, all the information for his cassette is painted on, and it's not as bad as some of the oranges on his tail. So, we're going to go ahead and transform him. Now, when his head goes in, it's kind of sketchy. It'll just kind of pop like that. His mouth and his nose goes into this spot, and that's what keeps the spines from popping up. Same thing with his tail. Boom, boom, and boom. And there you go. You got a little rockin' cassette tape. But I would show you Soundwave with him. It's on my shelf. It's kind of a hassle to try to get to him without knocking everything over. So, busted out my reissue blaster because I don't have the original one. It'd be very hard to find. So, as everyone knows, if you don't know, in the original Transformers line. Before it came to America, the Takara microchanger line had the cassette tapes. They all kind of turned into things. There's some that we never got in the States. There's ones that just never got taken under to the Transformers brand. Well, anyways, you have Soundwave, iconic tape player. Popped open, you can put the tapes in there. They did Blaster. Really interesting history behind the figure to the character Blaster. And same functionality. Press a button on it, and it pops open. And you can pop the cassettes in. And blammo. You'll be listening to tunes in no time. It's a really good playability. I mean, looking back at it now, it's like it's weird because it's cassette tapes, but I'm still nonetheless impressed by the engineering at the time. I mean, let's make a cassette tape turn into a robot. I mean, you got to give them props for that. But just the functionality with like, oh hey, it could possibly be a real working, tape player. Good old ghetto blaster tune, turn it on. I wish they had that so you could actually flip it on and off, jam to some tunes. I'll do a review of Blaster because I have a cassette tape I'd like to do a review of with Blaster. So, and same thing, I mean, Slugfest also goes in. It's fine. It's really cool. I mean, I know it's 2021, but cassette tapes are still very iconic. And as funny as it is, they made a comeback last year. Sony did a anniversary for the Walkman and re-released Walkmans, and people were going out buying them because they got cassettes and it's so hard to find, cassette players. So by golly, everyone got a Walkman. So who would ever think that would come back? I mean, everything eventually will. Next thing, you're going to have 8 tracks. I digress. So, thank you guys for watching. Remember to please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, I'd really appreciate if you could leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about, the cassette tapes, and particularly Overkill and Slugfest. Do you have them? Would you like them? I would recommend them if you could find them for a good price. If people are over, pricing them, I'm sure you'll be fine. And luckily, I got these guys extremely cheap. So, remember to please consider following me on Facebook. My group is official Nerdell Beastman. My Instagram is with an A_robotic_Beastman. And also Twitter is the Mighty Beastman. So, again, thank you guys for watching, and transform and roll out. Keep on rocking in the free world.